Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. We're about to find out if Nikki Glaser can take a punch. We'll talk about that in a second, but let me set the scene here. It's 75 degrees and the humidity is 34%, and it's sunny out for the first time in months. So if you're like, Johnny Mac, do I hear birds? You do. Do I hear planes? I do. Do I hear dogs? You might, because this, my friends, is our first poolside edition of Daily Comedy News this year. It is too nice to sit in the basement. All right, let's get to it. Nikki Glaser was at the Time 100 Summit on Wednesday. She said there was a joke she told during the Golden Globes that she worried went too far. Nikki explains, I didn't say anything that was like calling anyone ugly or fat. At roast, you say really cruel things. That's the job. She conceded she was initially concerned about a joke aimed at Emilia Perez star Selena Gomez and her fiance Benny Blanco, that she ended up texting Blanco to get his permission to go ahead with the joke. Quoting Nikki, I said that Selena Gomez is here because of Emilia Perez and Benny Blanco is here because of the genie who granted him that wish. And looking back, I'm like, that could seem mean, but everybody's like, he's not attractive enough for her. For me, I've never looked at them and thought that. I feel like she won too. I think he's really cool. So because that joke didn't actually come from a mean place, I felt like it was okay for me to say. If you pay a lot of attention to these Nikki Glaser interviews, there is definitely signs of mental struggles here. She's pretty open about it, and you do worry about her. Nikki said, I'm happier than I've ever been, but I'm not happy by any means. I'm so grateful, but I still have a lot of self-loathing that's almost getting boring to talk about at this point. She spoke about her current hot streak. I know it'll get taken away at some point because it has to. That's just the way things work. And when that part of my career happens, I don't want to be sad about that. So I just don't put too much worth in it, but I'm enjoying it. Now, none of that is the controversy that I alluded to at the beginning. Nikki said she was more critical of Trump than usual at a recent show in Canada because she usually holds back in the U.S. to not alienate fans who might disagree with her politics. But she told the audience at the time thing, she got worried that she could get backlash. Oh my gosh, what if I said gets recorded and sent out? Maybe I couldn't be let back into the country. There's just no scenario where the headline is U.S. government bans Nikki Glaser from re-entering country. I mean, that would just be such a massive scandal story. There's no chance of that happening. Nikki said, I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but I definitely don't think that I'm immune to having some kind of backlash. Look at the other places that have dictators. I have a friend, Jenna Friedman, who posted on Instagram that she was performing in Vancouver, and when she came back, Customs asked her what she did. She said she was a comedian, and they asked her if she talked about politics and made fun of the president. They let her go, but they asked, or I could be put on some kind of list because of some story I reposted. Look at other places that have dictators. You're not allowed to say things about them. She then joked about being sexually attracted to Trump to get on his good side. I don't know what you're laughing about. I'm 100% real about this, and it'll save me when I'm on the gallows. Send your letters to Nikki Glaser. John Mulaney has come under fire for a, quote, very controversial joke. This from the British tabloids. The very controversial joke was about the deaths of Gene Hackman and Hackman's wife. The joke in question, told much better by John Mulaney. Scientists are now like, we believe dinosaurs were killed 66 million years ago by an asteroid. Stop. You don't know that. We don't even know how Gene Hackman and his wife died, and we found their whole bodies with full clothes on 1 week after the event. How about that Santa Fe police? Hello, press conference number 470. We now believe that a rat bit Mrs. Hackman, turning her hands into mummy hands. Slow down. You don't know what happened. That, again, told much better by John Mulaney, is the very controversial joke. Really? Okay. Very controversial? One Reddit user called the comments sickening and posted, just me thinking the Gene Hackman bit was just a tad sickening. Another Redditor wrote, only John could get away with a Gene Hackman joke this soon. Really? Okay, guys. Late nighter, watch the Mulaney show. I didn't. Wednesday night is volleyball night, and I made the mistake of I went for a run. Johnny Mac is out of shape, and I will cop to being out of shape when I'm out of shape, and I'm out of shape. So I went for a run Wednesday afternoon because the weather is nice, and then I played volleyball, and I was so gassed, so there was no chance of me watching a show from 10 to 11 p.m. I went to bed. But late nighter, they watch Mulaney's show. They are very positive about the show, and it sounds like maybe, perhaps, possibly, Mulaney has taken my notes. Late nighter says Mulaney waited until halfway through the show to explain that guest Rita Moreno wasn't there. Apparently, Rita wasn't feeling well, but he never addressed the other missing panelist, which was to be dinosaur expert Dr. Luisa Chiappe, who had been announced earlier this week. Maybe John took my note that having 75 people on at once doesn't work. Who knows? Mulaney opened the show announcing the time and temperature, 62 degrees in L.A., while snow went past his studio's windows. Mulaney explained this is his Christmas show since the show won't be on in December, and he felt like it. See, that's funny. That's like an old-style Letterman-inspired bit. So it was the Christmas show, complete with twinkling lights, tinsel, and a disheveled white-bearded hobo. One of the guests he did have on, Io Edaberry, she liked the craziness. She compared the show to crack, but in a good way. Okay, we all know crack is bad. Yes, we can all agree that crack is something bad, but consider this. Crack gave us funk music. Crack gave us Tyrone Biggums. Crack gave us Whitney Houston saying, first of all, let's get one thing straight, crack is cheap. The spirit of crack, one could argue, has also given us this show. John Mulaney, sober and a father, is basically spiritually on crack. To be clear, I think this is a good thing. This man shows up dressed like a Pentecostal deacon's son headed to the 2018 NBA draft, only to end up a fifth-round reject, and yet he puts out some of the sharpest comedy happening right now. She described Mulaney as a gift to comedy. He's also maybe probably insane, but I think this is good, and I think crack is bad. Now, what's interesting is I did several Googles of the term Mulaney Conan. Not much came up. Jessica Kirson has a new special out on Hulu today. It is called I'm the Man. No, the Hulu publicist didn't send me anything, but I will not be stopped, Hulu publicist. You keep your comedy specials secret, and I'll keep outing them. Jessica told the Daily Beast, I've been doing stand-up for over 20 years, and this special is truly special. My stand-up has always stood out to the audience as I perform for my fans, and especially to other comics. I'm the Man is me embracing everything I am, the crazy voices, the characters, and the fact that I'm fearless on stage. Michelle Wolf had a surprise release, not really a special, a 15-minute clip where she talked about her controversial 2018 set at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The clip is called Dinner Time. It has premiered on Punch Up Live, a digital platform for live comedy. You can watch it for free. Wolf explains there might not be a comedian at the Correspondents' Dinner this year, but the good news is I have some leftovers. I've been holding onto the set since 2022, and with everything going on, I felt like it was the right moment to share it exclusively on Punch Up, a platform where comedians can release their own uncensored material without the constraints of any network or streamer. Gerard Carmichael will have another stand-up special for HBO. This one is called Don't Be Gay. Nina Rosenstein is the executive vice president for HBO programming. She says in a press release, this new special continues to build on the raw, intimate, and emotionally honest impact that his last special, Nathaniel, and his recent series on the network, Gerard Carmichael Reality Show, had. No quote from Carmichael, though. Anyway, Don't Be Gay on HBO Saturday, May 24th at 10 p.m. Tomorrow's Brett Goldstein special. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Good job by the birds giving me, I hope you can hear the birds, giving me some atmosphere as we do the show poolside today. Now, it's so weird putting the show together because when I put together Thursday's show, there was nothing. Now, behind the scenes, I teach a college class on Thursday morning, so I often like to pre-tape Fridays, and as the week goes, Friday tends to be one of the lesser listened-to days. I guess people get into weekend mode, so I often, when I'm teaching, will pre-tape Friday's show, and I'll squirrel stuff away all week, and there was just really nothing to fill Thursday's show, so I had to pull, boy, these birds are getting it done. Thank you, birds. I had to pull most of what was going to be today's show into yesterday's show just to get a show out, and it was a short show as it was. Now, today, conversely, it took me 2 hours to put this together. There's enough for 3 shows, and I'm probably going to sit here poolside recording the entire weekend because there's so much. Let's head on over to Gossip Corner. This is sad. TMZ reporting Fortune Feimster and her wife, Jacqueline Smith, recently separated, and Fortune is planning to file for divorce, according to TMZ. It's unclear what caused the split or when they separated. TMZ thinks it's pretty fresh. This is sad to me because wasn't one of Fortune's special all about getting married to Jax? Wasn't that like the whole cornerstone of it? So that's kind of sad. They were married in October of 2020. Also on Gossip Corner, if kids are listening to this with you for some reason, hit stop. We don't want the kids to listen to this next section. They're just going to have questions, so I'll give you a second here. I'll babble. Okay, kids are gone. Katherine Ryan has spoken out about more sexual misconduct in the comedy industry. She claimed one male comedian showed other castmates intimate videos of himself having sex with women. Katherine explained the incident happened while backstage in the green room of a big show. She did not identify the comedian, but did say that he isn't British. She explained, I've been in green rooms where very famous male comedians, one male comedian in particular, I will say it's not British, he was very famous, very rich, very powerful, and he was in a room on a big show. I was one of the few women on that bill, maybe 3 women, and there was a young female comedian who was starting out, who was next to him, and he was with all the lads showing pictures and videos on his phone that he had taken of himself having sex with women. So like really intimate photos, intimate videos, and he was showing them. His junk was in a lot of these videos. She felt very uncomfortable about that, and she came to my dressing room to be like, oh, I didn't like him showing me that, and she's about to go on stage. She's very new. I was even quite new at the time, but yeah, stuff like that and being a minority in that situation, which female comedians, especially when we're starting out, we're always minorities. In every green room, every dressing room, there are things we can't do that the boys can do. We can't take a night bus. We can't sleep on the floor with like 4 other comedians starting out a lot of times. We have children that we have to look after, and then we get fans who could like kill us. She then talked about Nikki Glaser. Nikki Glaser, who's doing amazing in America and hosting the Golden Globes for the 2nd year in a row, should make a joke of it on Instagram. Should write, come kill me in Cincinnati at 7 p.m., come kill me in San Diego at 8 p.m. We'd have to publish where we are at night, and we're always alone. It's a bit different. When I started doing television, male audience members could be weird with me. I had this following of very strange lone wolf men. Before I had a tour manager that'd follow me onto the train and keep talking to me. I was trying to be polite and create a boundary, but some of those interactions were scary. I've been lucky in part, I think, because the guys I came up with, Joe Lycett, Rob Beckett, and Ramesh Raghunathan, are just really, really good guys. Boy, this is all just terrible. Switching gears, if you're in Boston, Paul Reiser is at the Cabot in Beverly tonight. Paul says he doesn't have to do stand-up. I just love performing. I don't love airports. I don't love connecting flights. I just tell my agent it's got to be direct flight, not too late, because I like to be in pajamas at 9:45 if possible. Paul's my kind of guy. I've been on Stranger Things, which is big and great to be in, but it has nothing to do with me. Being on stage for an hour and a half, that's the fun, that's the joy. I love the art of stand-up. I love how ephemeral it is, and how the goalposts are always moving, and you never quite get it. And if you do get it, it's gone the next day. It's like, wow, what was that? Paul says he has a hard time watching his old stuff, but when I do see a glimpse of it, there are themes of things I'm still questioning. What's also great is the audience now comes to see me. It's not 1978, and here's comedian number 11, Paul Reiser. If people are coming and they bought a ticket and they came to see me, it's because they know me from something, probably Mad About You. It really does feel like getting together with old friends. The audience thinks, I know this guy, we grew up together, and we got married around the same time, we had kids around the same time, and the same warmth that I think they bring, I feel towards them. And maybe younger people come too, and they're confused. Wait, why is the doctor from Stranger Things trying to be funny? Save some more of that for the weekend. A Memphis comedian is going for a world record this weekend. Benny Elbows is working on a solo stand-up show that could last 40-plus hours to break the record for longest continuous solo comedy stand-up routine in history. I think Bob Marley had that, the comedian Bob Marley had that record for a while. We actually broadcast it live on Sirius, if my memory holds. Benny Elbows says, for a while I was a tour guide. I did tours in Memphis. I was a ghost tour guide, like a haunted tour. Not like you signed up for the tour and never saw me again. That's funny. The plan was for him to take the stage at 6 o'clock this morning at the High Tone Cafe on Cleveland Avenue. He's aiming to break the current record of 40 hours, 8 minutes. His game plan, I think the most important thing is going to be caffeine. There are rules, according to the Guinness World Record. I can repeat jokes, but only every 4 hours. So right now I have a Word document with like 17,000 words. It's 26 pages. Another big one is that we need 10 people in the audience at all times. That's hard. How will he make sure there are 10 people in the audience? He's hoping that this press helps. Well, if you're in Memphis, go help this guy out. Hopefully you downloaded the podcast at 3:05 a.m. when I dropped it, and you ran right over there to hook up that 6 a.m. hour. All right, I know you're curious. What about the bathroom? He explains, I can eat and drink on stage as long as it doesn't disrupt the flow of the show. You get 5 minutes every hour you can use for whatever you want, say a bathroom break. So I'm going to try to go as far as I can to the show before trying to take a nap and then finish strong. If everything goes well, he'll break the record around 10:30 on Saturday night. And that is your comedy news for today, Poolside Edition. Have an awesome day.